Today I'm just going to be doing a chatty video where I talk about a few topics that you requested and I just thought about talking about. I don't know, I hope this video will help some of you because some of the topics might be personal to you, and if they are, I really hope that I can help you because I'm just gonna go straight in. I'm not gonna think about it beforehand. The first topic you guys have asked me to talk about is body shaming, body image, anything. And honestly, I feel quite strongly about this because being a smaller, thinner girl, it's hard because to an extent, there's nothing we can do about it. And being shamed because of something that we physically can't exactly change, it's so upsetting. And this topic really hits me hard because growing up, I have literally my whole life I've been mocked for being a midget or whatever, and I know people think it's a joke and it's funny to you, but you don't know how that person's gonna take it and you don't know how much that can affect someone. And me being small, calling me a midget, there's nothing I can physically do about that. I can't just tell my body one day, can you grow a few more inches? I physically can't change it, and that's what was upsetting because I started to feel just embarrassed for something that I couldn't change. And whether you get made fun of for being tall or for being small or for whatever it is, it's not okay. And that person making fun of you, it's not okay. Getting back onto the shaming thing, this is a message that I feel is so important. Skinny is not a compliment. No matter how you say it, it's never a compliment to someone. Calling someone skinny has the same effect as calling someone fat, and you do not understand. Unless you've been in that position, you don't understand. If someone says, oh, you look so skinny in that dress, is that like a compliment to you? I don't understand. That's not a compliment to me, and I know a lot of other people that feel the same way. For someone that has, is it a high metabolism or a low metabolism? I don't know what it is, but the same thing. I can't change my weight. I know it's different in many cases. Going on from that point, anorexia and being skinny is a different thing. I cannot tell you how many times people have questioned if I have eating disorders because of my weight. And oh my word, I know some people don't mean it, but seriously, people have asked my friends, does she have anorexia? A, you're in no place to be saying that, and B, just, oh, if you guys can relate to this, what advice can I give you? I'm not going to tell you to ignore them because that's way easier said than done. Just know that each and every one of you is beautiful, no matter if you don't fit these stereotypes or if you don't fit what they portray in the media, which is most likely going to be fake, you know, but you're beautiful and you need to just look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you are beautiful because you are. Just find something about you, anything, I don't know, maybe a facial feature, anything that you like. So for example, I look in the mirror and I say, maybe I like my hair today. Instead of looking at every part of my face that I don't like, look at the things that you do like and only think about that in the day, and it will make you feel so much more confident and it will help you to just smash down the people that are pulling you down. I'm gonna move on to the next topic because I feel like I talked about that for ages. Bullying people because they do YouTube. You've probably heard this so many times, but I have a few things that I want to talk about because this makes me so angry in many ways. I'm not talking about the hate on YouTube because I know we signed up to get it. Being a YouTuber, you get that. You just get hate and you learn to live with it. And sometimes a few hate comments that I've got have been so personal to me. I just looked at them and there's nothing I could do that would stop me from crying. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the kind of face-to-face bullying because that happens, and I know it happens to a lot of people, not just me. When I first started my YouTube channel, people would be they're just oh, it's Lovevie, oh, I've seen your videos. To be honest, I actually don't care, but oh my word, it has gotten way worse. I'm gonna give you an example. There's a group of people, I'm not gonna say their gender because honestly I feel like I don't wanna give away who they are. There was a leader of the group. They would come up to me whenever they saw me, they would stand, I would be sitting eating my lunch and they would from the other side of the table stand there shouting things at me, completely and utterly taking the mick out of me. I was walking home, then they came up behind us, me and Phoebe, we sat down to let them overtake us, so shouting Lovevie at me, and I was like, okay, it's fine, they're walking past, Evie, just ignore, that's all I ever do. I just think they're not there, they're not there. Then me and Phoebe, we start walking, and they start walking back towards us, like forward to us. They're like shouting at us, and they're coming really close, like shouting things at us, like, because they're like, they look kind of like innocent in a way. It wasn't as intimidating, but they were quite aggressively like shouting at us, and we just ignored them and just like power walked through them. Then they came right up behind us, and they were calling me things like a It's literally harassment, and I literally didn't tell anyone about this apart from obviously my friends. And then someone was like, Evie, like, you may be able to cope with this, even though it was hard to cope with. But you do realise if you don't stop this now, they're gonna think it's okay, and they'll go on and do it to somebody else. And I was like, oh my word, I could not imagine. If they were to do something like that to my sister, I would literally, and maybe if they were to go and do it to someone else and they wouldn't be able to cope like I could, what could they do? And that would be my fault for not getting a stop on it. So I went and told my teacher, and I was just like, I just told them everything, and I was like, kind of deal with it, but if it was to happen to anyone else. And then he was like, you shouldn't have to deal with this. He was so angry. Now it's kind of died down, but it's no way near as bad. Advice out of that story is tell someone. Literally, I was so reluctant to telling someone, but when I did, it's basically stopped. I want to talk about the bullies more directly. It makes me so angry and frustrated that they feel like it's okay to do that to someone because their hobby is more public. Like, if you were to do that to any other person in the school, that would be like classed as like bullying or whatever, but you feel like it's okay to do it to me and other YouTubers. But just because what we're doing is more public does not ever give anyone the right to bully someone. Like, no one bullies anyone for like playing rugby. Like, that's their hobby. This is my hobby. Why is it different? Yeah, it's, like I said, more public, but it doesn't give you any right, and it doesn't make it any more right. And you may think, oh, it's okay to bully them, they have like a perfect life. Oh my word, okay. This was so requested to talk about the EU. I feel like it's so difficult because there are so many positives for both sides and there are so many negatives for both sides. It's never going to be perfect, but personally I think instead of talking about whether we should have stayed or if leaving was a good thing, I feel like the real issue is, why are 16-year-olds not allowed to vote? I think they need to give us some like reasons why, because it's our future and we don't even get a say in our future, and it would be a massive impact to us because we're gonna have to live with this for like so many more years than the people that are allowed to vote are. Do they think that we're not educated enough? You'd be surprised at how much some 16-year-olds know. Someone asked me, why did you start YouTube? And I feel like I normally give you the basic thing of saying because it's my passion, because it is. I love making videos, and I love a reason I've never really talked about, because it's kind of like watching YouTube videos and, I don't know, creating videos is just such an escape for me, and I feel like I wanted to be able to create an escape for me and also an escape for someone else watching it that could be going through something. And I want my videos to be a place that 5 minutes or 10 minutes of their day that they can just smile and feel like, there's the phrase, fake it till you make it. If I can put out this happy, confident life, it has actually helped with my happiness, because there's a lot of things that I don't tell you guys, and I'm not planning on telling you guys because I don't want to destroy this happy kind of escape. In some ways my life is amazing. I have a roof over my head, I have amazing friends, I've got to do so many cool opportunities. There are parts of my life that I don't tell you that I would not wish upon my worst enemy. It's something that their 15-year-old should never have to go through. If you are going through something hard, just remember everything happens for a reason. I always say this. It's so cliche, but it does, and I believe that, and that helps me get through it, because I think this is making me a stronger person, and I hope that I can inspire people to be stronger. And you can get through this no matter what. You think it's the end of the world, you can get through this, and a lot of the time that's really hard to believe. I'm a really closed person. I feel like if I was to tell people, they wouldn't associate with me with the happy person I am. Someone asked, are you vegan? I'm not vegan. That doesn't mean that I don't think vegan is the way of living. I actually personally do think what vegans do is amazing, and what they're doing for the world is amazing. The only exception I have to what I eat is I don't eat meat. My dad tries to get me to eat chicken because he's like, you need to grow and protein's good for you, but I'm like, you can get protein in other things like nuts and broccoli or whatever, and when you're growing it's really important to get that protein, so it's hard. But how I would describe it, in my stomach I just get this feeling of guilt and it feels like a washing machine. That's how I would describe it. It's weird, I know. When I see red meat, or if I see someone eating it, or if someone asks me to eat it, or if I see it anywhere, if I see red meat or any meat, even it happens with chicken as well, but if you watch Freely you're probably just like, here we go again. But I think looking into where your food comes from is a good idea. Advice to take from this topic is don't be that person that tells others what to do, because I'm not gonna lie, when I sit opposite my friends and they're eating a beef burger, I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god. I see animals being slaughtered in my head and I'm like, how can you have dead animals rotting in your stomach? I'm sorry if I'm being Freely, I'm turning into Freely. I'm going against the advice I was about to tell you. And when you see someone eating it and you don't agree with what they're eating, maybe you're vegan, maybe you're vegetarian, maybe you're pescatarian, whatever, don't be that person that's like, oh my god, you're eating red meat, I don't agree with you. If they want to eat that, then it's fine. It's not your problem, it's their problem. If they want to look into it, they can look into it. If they have looked into it and they still want to eat it, then that's fine. If they want to do that, then that's okay. Just don't be that person that judges them for what they're eting because you don't agree with it, because everyone has different opinions, everyone has different views. I've not eaten meat for like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I think it's like quite a few months. Someone asked me, do you have any story times? If you don't know what story times are, you're probably like, what? I have a few story times that eventually I will tell you, but because the case is quite recent, I feel like I shouldn't tell you right now because I don't know if I'd be safe to tell you right now, even though I know probably it's really unlikely that anything would happen, but just for safety reasons I'm not going to tell you, because if they were to see this. The end of this video, what I want to say is any situation you're in, just try and think the positive way out of it and your life will start to be a bit happier. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, because I don't know, I feel like this video was really different. Yes, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!